what you got. Show them how you get up in your bag. Show them that swag. What you see is what you get. When I look in the mirror, I'm looking like a man. Like we playing tag bad, I'm the top pick. Show them what you're working with. Break the circuit, be a hit. Go ahead and make them sit. If you gotta hate it, then your purpose is equipped. Tell them catch you later, cause you serving up some grits. Meaning hot with the drip when I drop in the mix. The proof is in the pudding. Show them how you do it. They do it like they shouldn't. You don't need to brag, cause your competition couldn't. You don't need to boast, cause the proof is in the pudding. Show them that swag. Show them that swag. Show them that swag. Show them that swag. Show them what you got. Show them how you get up in your bag. Show them that swag.
All right, it is time. So thank you guys all so much for joining me. Thank you guys for being guests. And then also thanks to all the viewers who are showing up. It's going to be a really good webinar. This one is a roundtable, so we get to hear from some of our users and how they found their PhotoDay fit. Before we jump into intros, I do want to mention you guys can sound off in the chat as we go along. We love to hear from you. The engagement is always really nice to have as we go along. We are going to address questions at the very end of the webinar with everybody. So if y'all have questions that come up as you're watching, there is a Q&A only section of the chat where you can actually put questions there, but just drop them in and we will get to them at the end. All right. So for those of you guys who do not know me, I am Stevie Williams.
And I'm Austin, and we're Studio Success Managers here at PhotoDay. And we have an amazing lineup today. I'm super excited. These people are absolutely killing it on the platform, and they all have something different that their PhotoDay stories are all a little bit different. So it's gonna be cool to hear from them.
For sure.
So let's start with some introductions. If you could just tell us your studio name, your name, and then what markets you photograph, and yeah, we can start with Amy.
Oh, goody. Okay, so my name's Amy Minchell. I'm from Nebraska. I'm in the very center of Nebraska in a town called North Platte. There's 26,000 people in my town. And we service mostly public schools. I took on my first school of 6,000 back in 2019. And I joined PhotoDay in 2021.
Very cool.
What about Victoria and David over there?
I'm Victoria. This is my granddad, David. He owns Olive's Photography in Harvest, Alabama, the top of the state. And he started out in actually film productions and then went to still photography and did a whole bunch of weddings, and some doors started closing and dance opened the door. And so we've been doing dance for 28 years.
28 years, yeah.
Wow.
28.
That's awesome.
Okay, I'm Stella Crace, and I actually have two companies, Mini Pro Sports Photos and On-Site Photography. Mini Pro Sports Photos is like my rec leagues, which is really what I predominantly photograph. That's where most of my revenue comes in from. And then on-site photography is more like my corporate, if I have any corporate work in schools. I only have about 8 schools, and I also trade under on-site photography with my dance schools. So I have, like I said, I only have about 8 schools. I probably have about 5 dance schools right now, but my sports leagues, I have about 95 sports leagues. So I've been with PhotoDay since I had to look it up because I couldn't remember what year it was. But my first job with PhotoDay was February of 2019. So I've been with PhotoDay for a long time, and was at imaging when Lisa was pitching PhotoDay and introducing us all to this new platform. So I've got to see it evolve for a while now.
You have been along for the ride, Stella, for sure, since the early days.
Yep.
Okay, well, I think I'm going to change away from the slide so we can see everybody's face a little bit better. Okay, and did that change the order? Maybe. All right, well, let's go over how you guys got started in volume, which, I mean, it sounds like y'all kind of covered, but what y'all were doing before you jumped into an online solution and did you consider using online? Is this new? And what complications did you have before you switched? Let's do Stella. You want to go first, and we'll go backwards now.
Okay. I guess so. So I actually bought my business in 2005. I was a school teacher. Prior to that, I was a catering sales manager in a hotel. So I quit my teaching job. A woman moved into my neighborhood, and she's like, she knew I quit. She goes, "You want to help me this fall?" I said, "Sure." "And what do you do?" She goes, "I got a youth sports photography business." I said, "Sure." So I worked for her for about a month and, helped with emptying envelopes and counting money and typing up things, stuffing envelopes and all that. And then she asked me if I wanted to buy the business. And since I'm a business major, I said, sure, if you have a business mentality, you book the business and figure it out. So I was like, I just figured I'm going to figure out how photography works. I was not a photographer. So I just went to a lot of conferences, did a lot of mistakes, did a lot of trial and error till I got my images to where I wanted them to be. And, and I've evolved, and then, let's see. So I was always a volume photographer, but I will tell you, I wanted to be a portrait photographer. My goal initially was to be, really have more credence in the industry and be a portrait photographer, and just because of where I started from. So, because back in the day, if you went to imaging, you got poo-pooed as being a volume photographer. No one really wanted to talk to you back then. So anyway, but I did get my CPP. So that was one of the things I did, because I wanted to make sure that people knew that I was serious about my business and I was serious about my photography. So not that you need that, but it was really more of me feeling like I needed the education also, since I didn't come from a creative education or background.
That's really cool. You pursued that. Go ahead, Austin.
When you bought the business, were you still on paper forms?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was on, yeah, that was 2005 until 2019.
Wow.
I was on paper forms. So went through it all, went through everything from, not being able to put credit card numbers on forms anymore, to then having to do manual processing on Sunday. I mean, my husband and I would just go through, that was our Sunday mornings. We'd get our coffees and we just processed credit cards on Sunday mornings. It used to take us like 5 hours. We'd start at 7 in the morning and wouldn't be done until about noon, just because I had some really large leagues on Saturdays, and it took that long to empty envelopes and to process credit cards. So that, that's the one part of the industry of people who still do order forms. It's almost like they don't even think about the time involved, just, processing the envelopes, reading the envelopes, that kind of thing. So, yeah, so it was a lot more time spent on paper for sure.
So was there anything in particular that pushed you? I mean, I know you've been on PhotoDay for a while, but was there anything in particular that pushed you to like try online? Or was just kind of?
Well, yeah. And if people see me speak before, it's my assistant manager quit or resigned on me in like late July, early August, I think it was. And I had so much business on the books and I was overwhelmed. I'm like, there was no way I was going to have time to train somebody to help me with the amount of work that I was doing. I was, basically working 18-hour days, even with her. So I was like, I'm not, so I was forced basically, since that was fall of 2019. So I kind of got my feet wet with PhotoDay in February of 2019. I said, what have I got to lose? I'm going to lose my mind if I don't switch now. And it was like the best thing I ever did. I don't know what I was so afraid of.
Love it. All right. David and Victoria. Sorry, this is a really long form question. So let's start with a little bit more about your start in volume. And did you always consider an online solution? And what were you doing beforehand?
You want to tell me?
We never considered online. I didn't. I guess I'm the old guy. We started dance. I've been running our business for 45 years. I started in 1980 and took it over from my dad.
Right.
We did our first dance school in 1998, and I shot film. And you talk about something hard to do, matching negatives up with kids that are all dressed alike and their hair's alike. That was a real headache. Digital started with me in 2000, and that was a game changer for me.
Right.
But we started with one. At our peak, I think we've had 10 schools. We would shoot close to 70,000 images a year, and I printed every one of those in proofs. We each had 3.5 or 5 proofs, and we would compile those and then go back to the dance school and sell in person.
Okay.
And what got us to really change, she said the stress level was killing me. I was working 7 days a week from middle of February to the 1st of June to do those schools. And we made it. It worked. And we would shoot a school. We'd set 3 backgrounds up. We would shoot everything in the 4 days that during class times. And within 2 weeks, we'd go back and sell in person. Well, the amount of people that I had to have was a lot. And then I had to have them here at the studio, cutting the proofs, alphabetizing them, getting them ready to sell. And so, but we've been doing it for, 27 years. So we had a system. It worked. Our dance schools were happy with us. We've got one that we had for 27 years. We have 2 that we're doing right now. We've had for 22 years each. And they like what we do. I suppose we wouldn't still be there, but it worked. And so as long as it worked, I wasn't going to change. Well, Tori started helping, and she's the one that said, we need to do something different. You've got to cut the stress level down because I'm getting older and it's killing me. And
seriously,
no time for anything else. But now, used to, we did weddings and portraits. We stopped that. And it just slowly went into nothing but dance schools, which took a lot of our time. And then in the fall, we do nutcrackers for 3 of the schools.
Right.
But she's the one that said, we got to do something different. I guess I finally realized I can't do this by myself, and she's going to take this over. And I said, let's do it and try it. So we tried it. And there were several factors that made us choose PhotoDay. Yes. But one of them was that you use the lab that I was used to. We've been using Richmond for years doing our specialty items, not prints. I did all the printing here.
Okay.
Before we went with PhotoDay, I did a lot of sample prints with them just to be sure I was okay with the quality.
Oh, yeah.
And I've not been disappointed in anything yet with PhotoDay or with Richmond. It has given me time. I can't believe how much time it saved. Plus the amount of salaries that I was paying people to sell. To work at the studio, to cut all of this stuff up.
Wow.
I'm not making as much money through online as I was in person.
Right.
I'm actually making more because of what I'm saving, not paying all the salaries. So it's worked out really to the good for us. So I'm very content with it, but mostly it's what Tori wants. And she's making this happen. I didn't know what it was going to be like editing all these photos because before I never edited. We would sell showing these proofs, and the background might be off. There might be different things. Nothing was corrected until if they bought it.
Okay.
So putting it online, we're editing all of them, and we're making sure the background's correct. If somebody's a hand off the background, I'll delete it. Well, Austin showed us a photo, and
he's a wizard. He knows all of that stuff.
That has really worked good for us. And so it's made us look better, I think. Yes. But it's also, our workflow is not bad. I thought the editing part was going to kill us. Yeah. Because I never had to do that much of it. The 2 of us can handle it, and it's not a big issue, at least with the amount that we're doing right now.
And so our first PhotoDay thing that we used with y'all was Nutcracker of 2024. So we just had this spring with our very first time for all of our dance schools.
Wow.
So it was wild, but I think it worked well.
It worked real good.
And so we're very, very new.
Yeah.
That's awesome. See, I think that is an extremely cool story. So y'all were selling on site until December 2024 or no, okay.
Yeah, when they told me that they were printing out all those photos and taking them back, I was like, so we got to stop that.
Yeah. And we have, and it's been great.
That is amazing. All right, Amy, what about you?
Okay, so I'm kind of the opposite of Stella. I started fine art in 2008 and joined PPA, got my master's in photography, got my CPP, love fine art. I'm an artist at heart. However, my husband says I have a very bad habit of saying yes and then figuring it out later. I said yes to my first wedding before I owned a DSLR camera. And I said yes to my first school of 6,000 kids, like 0 to 6,000, without ever doing volume. So in 2019,
no in between.
Right. I leap, see what happens. That's kind of been my motto. So the whole business plan thing is like, oh, that's like a great idea. I should probably do that. So in 2019, I did my first volume school, and thought I could do it on my own. Ended up hiring my sister. I had a car accident before we got to the school for our first job. Ended up hiring like 7 people, and I have a picture of them all sitting on the ground in my studio because I didn't even have space for all of them to sit at a desk, trying to process paper forms through that. We survived. It was just roughly traumatic, just a little bit. Then went to my first conference and learned quite a bit. And in 2020, I hired my first guy. But at that time, I thought I needed an IT guy to be able to do online, because the IT was so beyond me, the tech part of getting online. I liked the idea of getting online, but I couldn't handle it. So in July of 2020, I hired a guy that thrived in tech. He could write code like no one's business. And that's what I thought I had to have to be able to get rid of envelope.
Right.
So we did 1 year. We went to 4 conferences. He got made friends with you guys every single time. And he'd come home and he'd be like, we need photo day. And I was like, no, I've already changed once. I'm not doing year 3 of first year, because we had, 2019 first year, we changed to online for 2020. And then he was like, no, we need photo day. And our site crashed. We had a baseball team coming in, I don't know, in like an hour, and the site crashed that we were trying to put stuff on. And he came out of his office and he was like, if I had photo day, this wouldn't be a problem. And I was fairly upset with him for throwing it in my face again. And I said, fine, go make it happen. And he made the account, downloaded the software, uploaded our roster before that team arrived. And we literally didn't look back from that point on, for several years. So that's how we found Photo Day.
So that segues into, go ahead.
Oh, that's how we found out you didn't actually have to be an IT developer to be online.
It's helpful, but not required, right?
Right.
So what made you stick with Photo Day, and did you try any other solutions? What made you switch back? And then what features like just really attracted you to Photo Day?
Yeah. So, like I've said, in 21 is when we joined Photo Day. And in 24, I was having schools reach out and want us to do it this way, where we did it that way. And because essentially our business plan had been set on how Photo Day does things well, I could not provide what these schools were asking for. And unfortunately, I did not call anybody in Photo Day to be like, hey, we're getting asked to do this, and can we do this? It was more of a, well, this company over here says they can do it, and they do all the other things Photo Day does too, according to them. And so last February in 25, I jumped ship, and I left Photo Day. And we call that the dark days because it was a rough, it was like a rough 4 months. And we tried to go to another software, and basically we were promised the world, and they did not provide what they promised, and so we called Photo Day back, and we're like, we want to come back, and they opened their arms and of course let us in, because you guys are the most welcoming people in the history of any volume online. So yeah, my motto is build your business based on the platform that works well for you and use what they're good at to do what you do. And like, it just taught me to have a better backbone to the schools. Schools are like, but this is how we want you to do it. And I need to be a better backbone and say, well, this is how we do it. And I'd love to work with you, but this is how I'll do it. Instead of trying to do it the way they want it to be done just because they don't know any different. And that was on me for not standing up for the values that we had put in place.
That
now
makes
we know.
sense. Yeah. Schools are hard. A lot goes into schools, and I feel like schools like learn what photographers offer, like based on who they've worked with in the past. But you're the professional, and they're not.
Exactly. And I'm really not going to be good at what I do if I don't trust the process that we put in place.
That is so true. I think that's a really good piece of advice. Like, if you're confident in it, like everyone else will be. If you're not, then yeah. Is there anything in particular that made you come back to PhotoDay? Was there like just something that you really missed when you switched away in particular?
Oh my gosh. So nobody in the industry has face find software like PhotoDay. They've got the corner, and it is phenomenal and time saving, and the ease of it is just beyond anything anybody else has. I don't care what anybody says about QR codes or there's nothing like face find. And although some people are concerned about protecting the children, we have no issues in our schools. We take safety precautions. It's not on our cell phones. We, have tablets that do the process. And that part, I can't do my job as fast as we do it without that. One of the two things that's unique to our largest contract is we do summer pictures where the parents are bringing the kids for their school pictures. So one, I have parents with them, and two, I'm going through 5,000 kids in 2 days during the day. So being able to do face recognition I could not do that with QR codes like that. I'm not getting a whole class of first graders. I'm getting a first and a 12th and a 7th all at the same time. And I need it to be right on the back end. So face find is beyond the best. And then the tech support that you guys have on your end and how responsive you are to my team. My team is fairly large, and we have quite a bit of turnover, more turnover than I would like. But every single time we have someone new, I don't even have to reteach. I can say, just ask the bubble. And although we have processes and sometimes that works, they still are stuck, and the bubble answers them so fast. Where the other software we tried, we'd wait 3 days to get an answer.
The bubble is super special.
It is.
Okay. I also want to ask David and Victoria, what in specific made you choose PhotoDay as the online solution that you ultimately looked at or tried?
So I was looking at one other, and I wish I could remember what it was called. And it was talking about the facial recognition. I totally agree with that. With the large volume that we do, we wouldn't be able to do it in a timely manner that we can now. And so it was talking about that. It was you can it'll put itself in its gallery, and it's great. And so I just looked at that, and then I reached out in the bubble and asked a question. And I mean, it was immediate, and it wasn't an AI something, it was an actual person. So I could really try to explain what I was trying to get through, because we had so many questions. And then we ended up talking to Austin, and I mean, we thought we were just never going to be able to make it work. And Austin was like, oh no, it's fine. Well, we can do this, we can do that. And it's just very daunting. And so that was the hardest thing, was just actually clicking on it and going, okay, maybe I can do this. But I would say the facial recognition was the main.
I would say with dance too, because there's so many different classes, people can be a part of multiple. It's if you have to rely on the groupings of people, then dance is really tough, with QR codes. So for sure. And Austin is a superhero. If you have Austin, then it's a no-brainer. You're going to be successful. Stella, I feel like I already asked you, like, but is there any feature that you consider critical to your success now?
Well, I tell you what, so most people know that I always get emails from my customers. My schools all give me the emails, my sports. So I've always been a pro getting emails so that I can market directly to the parents with their emails also. So most people know I do all private galleries. So I actually can share with you that I had someone come to me and offer a last minute job a month ago. 1,500 soccer players, no emails, but they were in a bind. Can you do it? He had a staff that I used his staff. I've never really shot like this before. I'm a control freak. Everybody uses the same camera, same aperture, same lighting, same everything, but they were in a bind. It was down here in Florida. So I'm like, well, the only way I can do this is with FaceFind, because I didn't have any of that information. I didn't have anybody's names. I didn't have anything. Can I tell you how scared I was on that day? I'm like, I'm just going to roll, because this is what friends of mine do. They roll with it without any rosters, without any names. And I'm like, I'm losing it. Like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm doing this. I can't believe I'm doing this. But I did it. And it's amazing. We rolled through. It's like the photographers that work, I had 4 stations plus 2 team stations. Well, we only needed 1, but I had 28 teams that all had games by 9 a.m. and we couldn't start till 7:30. So, that was a lot of people to go through. Yeah. And so I probably would like to say that, I'm always learning new features in photo that I haven't used or experimented with. And the fact that I got over the hump with this, and now I totally trust the system. I only have one parent that reached out to me saying that they thought the FaceFind thing was unethical, whatever. So all I did was send her, I'm like, what team is she on? I sent her a picture team. I circled it. I did it myself, found who she was, and we created, or the bubble helped me. I think Lana helped me create just a gallery just for her. But so out of all those people, only one person had a problem with the FaceFind thing. But I was just kind of blown away, and my sales have been great. And so I'm not so fearful anymore. And I look at it this way. So my son and daughter-in-law are going to be 50-50 partners with me starting January 1. Cool. So I'm bringing my daughter-in-law into SPAC. But so I see them, because they're younger than me. I've been doing this for 22 years, so they have new energy. So I look at this like, guys, you can use this FaceFind thing. I mean, this is how I've been doing it. But you don't have to do it this way. It's like you make it your own. I'm like, if you guys really want to sell, because they're, like I said, they want to grow the business. I'm like, this is a great way to grow the business. And I know, I'm speaking at SPAC about growing your business. And that is one of the things. Some people still can't let go of things. They want to do everything and be in control. And if you really want to grow your business, you need to find the platform that's going to allow you to do that and be comfortable with being able to let go and trust the system. And there's not a lot of systems out there that you can really trust. But I've been a PhotoDay fan forever now. So, and now I'm like, oh, wow, we have, this whole other dimension I never even used, that now I'm like, God, I'm not afraid of anything. You can be as busy as you want and just let the system work for you. So I don't know. Right. So that's my one new thing that has evolved for me in PhotoDay and I know a lot of people don't use all the features that PhotoDay has, but I love the auto campaign settings, because once a job's shot, I don't worry. I turn all that on. I post, PhotoDay reminders. I don't have to worry about doing all that marketing afterwards, because of course, like Dave said, yes, your participation goes down with online. There's no one's going to argue that point with anybody. All the paper order form people out there are like, oh yeah, but it goes down. I'm like, yeah, but your average order sale goes up, your profit goes up. It's like I'm making more money online than I ever did with paper order forms. So it's like if participation is that important to you, more important than making more money, then keep doing your paper order forms. That's what I tell you. It's just like, I don't, it's, you got to look at the paper. A lot of people don't even know if they're profitable. So that's a whole other issue.
It's practically impossible to wrap your head around and to do it all. It's so much work. And I wanted to ask you, David and Victoria, I have 1,000 questions for you guys, but do you feel like your order values have gone up since you went from on-site selling to PhotoDay, or do you feel like it stays the same? Or
I feel like it's gone up.
I think they've gone up.
I think so.
Maybe not as many orders.
Right.
I don't feel like, I know that our sales are down at least this spring, but our profits are up because I'm not paying salaries for people.
Right.
Used to 2 weeks after we shoot, we'd have a crew. I'd have a separate crew going back to sale because I had another crew photographing another school.
So we were doing 2 different places at the same time. And that is truly what made me decide we can't do this anymore, because it was so stressful. Because if, he's the main one that knows everything about the camera. I'm still learning. And so I can fix some things, but he is going to be the one that needs to be there, but he would be off doing something else because we're all split up.
Right.
So it was just, we had to make a choice, and this has helped so much. And I agree, the sales are down, but it's like you were saying, your profit goes up because we're not using the paper. We're not using the ink that we were. We're not having to pay for people to cut. You go sell. So I think the average price has definitely gone up. And I love that gives, because we would do this ourselves. We would tally it up and look at the average, what's the average order. So y'all do that in PhotoDay. And so that's great. We love to look at that.
Right. Like otherwise you'll have to go through and type every single order total into a spreadsheet. Yeah. Yeah. So it is really cool to have all that reporting. And people get to see and choose what they want instead of standing at a table and like kind of making a rash decision. So that is really super awesome.
So we're in December. It's the end of the year. What are some wins that you had this year with PhotoDay? And then do you have any goals for your studio for 2026? And let's go, Stella.
Me again? Amy hasn't talked in a while.
Okay, let's go, Amy.
Go, Amy.
I don't have an answer. 25 was hard. 25's been sucky for me. Mostly because we decided early in the year to try something different. And in June, I had to make the hard decision to say I was wrong. And so we lost a lot. I think I think my mistake cost me about $25,000. And then we had 3 schools choose not to go with us this year. And I think those were because of mistakes made in 24 because of staffing. So I've had a few things stack up that I feel like I'm ending 25 behind the 8 ball. So goals for 26 is to regrow. However, the how regrow, we're not looking at adding more schools. I'm looking at expanding into dance and getting a couple of leagues because I think Stella's pretty cool and I want to do a 1500 league. So we have dreams of expanding our revenue throughout the year because right now we are really heavy August, September, and next to 0 January through March. So those are our goals. It'll take us probably most of 26 to expand those goals. But honestly, I couldn't do it without PhotoDay because I don't have time to be behind a computer. Our personal life, I homeschool one of our children and I have 3 all over the age of 13. I'm running this company plus another company. And then my husband and I have some rentals that we run as well. So I do not have 60 hours a week to give to Nebraska Portraits. And so I couldn't even ask that of my team if I didn't have a partner like PhotoDay. So that's the win, is that I don't have to hire more people. I just need PhotoDay to do that part for me.
Sweet. Amazing. Stella?
Yeah, I'll add on to that. So, because I was talking about growing the business. Yeah, it's great to get new business and grow, but sometimes you need to take advantage of what PhotoDay has built in, where you can milk the customers that you have for more money. So the buy all download has been amazing for me this year. That's mainly why I hit another milestone this year, which I thought last year I made more money than I ever have. And then this year I've made more money than I made last year. So, and I really attribute it to the buy all digitals. And like Jay Boatwright will tell you, and other people that are giving people multiple poses, multiple looks, the more you give, so you only have one chance to sell to that one parent, because we all know in this volume world, very rarely do you get reorders. So you got to sell that first time. So you need to really, hook them the first time they look at all the images, and they've got to want them all. So it is worth the effort. And I will say, my manager, Jonathan, who works with me, he's really great. I mean, we do at least a minimum of 2 if we have a really, really huge league, or 3. Like with that 1,500 league, we did 2 poses at first thing, but later in the day, we went to 3 poses. So, but we gave them 6 different backgrounds. I extracted all different backgrounds. They had like 21 different images to buy from. And I guess finding the sweet spot as far as the buy all number, like what number is going to scare people off, so you have 21, so my buy all is $129.99. People will be like, wow, that's really inexpensive. It is when you compare the number of images you're getting. It's like, what, $5, $4 an image? Yeah. But you know what? We talk about that average sale. I have more people spending over $100 now than I ever did. Like most people was like the $30 $35 on order form. So the buy all digitals has been great. And I just really believe in, if your photography is really good, and if it's not really good, it's very difficult to sell online. I will say that. If you're, a lot of people are like, oh, I bombed it online. Well, do a self-reflection on, look at your images. If they're not, it's very difficult to sell bad images online. So you either have to improve your images if you're not being successful, or you need to change your sales strategy and offer parents more. Because, I like to do, like Jay's all traditional. I offer both. Like when I did the soccer league, I gave them the same background I was shooting the teams on, which was an outdoor background. I extracted them, put them on. I made sure there was light coming from behind in that background so that it all matched and looked right. So I gave them so that their team photo and their individual under the tent was exactly the same background. But then I also gave them all these other graphics, and I gave them like more traditional looks, because some parents don't like all the crazy fire and lightning bolts and stars and neon and all that. Right. Some parents, so I try to offer both in all of my images, so that, because you never know what they're going to like. You go the white background, the black and white, you give them everything, and then, they're going to like something. So, the more options you give them, I think the higher your sales are going to be, and the more participation you're going to have. So it's a win-win.
That's awesome, Stella. You're like, give them all the styles.
All of it.
Pretty impressive. Do either of you guys, Victoria or David or Amy, do you guys offer download all?
We would, but you don't give us the option to have tiered sales and download all. And some of our customers have over 100 prints, 100 images, because the kid may be in 10 different costumes, and we probably shot 4 or 5 images of each costume.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so the best I have in the 5 tiers, tier number 5, you can get your images if you buy 20 or more for $20 each.
Right.
But they will, and we tell them, and they know from us selling in person, we'll make deals with you.
Yeah.
So they'll call us and go, look, I want them all. I want them all. Give me a price. And so Tori works them up a sweetheart deal and they buy it. We sell anywhere, all of them from $500 to $1,000, depending on how many you have.
Right.
We just hate you don't do that. We're doing it, but if PhotoDay would either give me more tiers that I could break it down the way I want it, or give me the 5 tiers and the option of buy all.
Because we think when that very first came out, Austin, you were telling us about it. Like we were like, this is what we want. This is perfect.
Right.
But with some of our kids, they might only have 10 photos.
Yes. Because
they're a little kid. They're little. They're not in the competition
right.
part of it. And so, I mean, there's one of the girls has like over 200 photos. And so like, you can't be like buy all for everybody unless, I don't know.
Right.
And for that, I do think the bundles work well just because they are in multiple costumes and you don't know if it's going to be 10 photos or 100 photos. So
exactly.
I think with what you guys are doing.
Not to mention, I feel like making the money per image is great in certain situations. So that makes sense. I'll take it back to the bosses. So we'll see. We'll see what happens in the future. And then what about you, Amy? Oh, go ahead, Stella.
I was just going to tag on the one thing you could do for this, because when I do dance, the same thing. I do offer buy all, but you could just do a 10 digital package and that accommodates those smaller kids, so they could get a good package price, and they just pick 10 digital images. Like if that's typically what your younger kids have, then you do have a discounted kind of built in there, and you can still do the buy all for anybody who has a lot. So anyway, it's just. That's kind of how I get around it with my dance schools. I just have some packages that I do 10 digitals, their favorite 10, whatever.
We haven't even done a digital package now that I've thought about that.
It's just the bundle. They can go in and do the bundle.
I didn't even think
there you go.
Thanks.
So Stella told me that one this last year when the down and low all came out. And that's what we did for our 2 studios that we do have. And it worked well because moms who have their daughter in 7, 8 classes, they think they're getting a steal of a deal. Right. And both of our studios we took from someone who required them to buy a package every time they showed up in another outfit. Ooh. So we were saving grace. They loved us because we're like, yeah, just one price, one folder. But we made those packages. I think I made a 2, a 5, and a 10 in the digital packages to accommodate those smaller kids. But yeah. Nice. So something we did this year in schools, because I have such a unique situation where mom gets to be at picture day, I wanted it to be a mini session, and I doubled my photographers and we tripled our poses. And then we cropped every picture 3 ways. So their galleries have 25 pictures in them. And we took 6. And so not everybody, when you get a high schooler, no, I'm not getting
right.
I'm not getting adorableness, but my high schoolers don't buy anyway. So, but my kindergartners, they buy really.
Oh well. Yeah, they make up for the high schoolers.
Yeah. So although we did see our sales timeline slow down, and for schools, I was at 75 for a download all, so cheap, dirt cheap. But I'm still getting $75 sales today, and we did that job July 31st. So
that's awesome.
They love them. Sometimes they have to wait to buy because they don't have the income to do it, or they thought they'd make a decision and they never did make a decision, so they finally caved and did the buy all. But multi-pose. In fact, I met with Austin, I don't know, a month or so ago, and I was like, what are we doing? What do we need to do different? And he's like, you're doing all the things. There's that. So he found me something I can do because we're not using the pre-buy. Is that what?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like Stella, we're not using all the features that PhotoDay has, and so we'll be going and using the prepay to add sales.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I have a question that I feel like kind of ties into what we were talking about. Not really, but sort of. And I feel like, Stella, you might be able to answer this. Does anybody use advance pay as a required deposit for each athlete? Like, as in they have to purchase a credit in order to be photographed?
I only use required for dance schools just because we're photographing so many some of the girls. I mean, some girls they're only in 2 different outfits, or maybe just one outfit if they're really young. But I do require a $20 advance paid deposit. It goes towards their order, but that way, because like I do a lot of extraction work and I need to cover my costs, and I mean, you still have to look at and you got to cover your time. So, and I mean, if you don't, then you're going to have, some girls they're going to show up in every outfit. Mom only wants to buy one picture. So I do require an advance pay for dance schools. I do not require it for sports. But all of my advance pays, including the dance, along with making the deposit, if they spend $50 or more on their final order, I throw in free shipping. And I know a lot of people don't like to do the free shipping. I just build it into the cost of the package. I mean, I just inflate those packages. I just look at what my percentage is going to be if they go over this amount, and I just make sure that it's included in there. I mean, I know it's not dollar for dollar or whatever, but I just price them a little higher than I would at the lower. I have some lesser expensive packages, which if they buy those, they're going to pay for shipping because they have to meet that minimum. Right. So, but it's always linked to an advance pay. So all of my sports, I do use advance pay linked to free shipping, because I tell you what, parents lose their mind over having to pay shipping or pay shipping twice. They just lose their mind over it. It's just, I don't know what it is, about it, but they just really do. And even when, the whole thing about 2 different galleries, like I'll have one sports league where it's a clinic and a club group. They're on different picture days and they're 2 weeks apart. They can't combine those. Right. So what I'll do, if somebody calls me, I'll just give her a coupon for the one, as long as she spends $40 or more. But I'm not going to give her a coupon for a $15 order for free shipping. So I'll work with them if they're really going to spend money. So I try to be, I didn't say no. So at least I offered that to them. But I usually always offer free shipping for my sports if they spend $40 or more. And then for my dance schools, it's $50 or more. And then I just make sure it's all in there. But like I said, I've had a lot of digital orders. So that advance pay, I'm not even worried. They're not even having to pay shipping because they're getting it as a digital download. So, but I believe in it. And actually, back in the beginning, the reason I was so hesitant with jumping on board with PhotoDay initially was because they did not have advance pay. And once they offered advance pay, then I was all in. So it made it very easy for me to do that transition once I could at least get some money up front to cover my staff and my labor and all that kind of stuff. So
you were here early then, because I don't even remember when we didn't have advance pay.
You didn't have it.
Like what? Okay. Well, anything else, Austin?
I think that was, how are you gonna, did we say that already? How are we gonna use PhotoDay to utilize and achieve your goals?
Well, we didn't ask Victoria and David if they have any 2026 goals for your studio.
I would say definitely just improve sales. This being the first full spring that we did, our very first school was basically our guinea pig, and we realized things we got to the very last school, only having a very short window for the percentage off, trying to get them to do it. Don't give it too long. We realized that was the wrong thing to do. And I think just with advertising, maybe utilize the campaigns that I know we've done, like one, and then Austin let us know about the Cyber Monday deal type thing. Like, we've seen so many sales just from that, and I've been shocked. So we've been really pleased. So we hope to use that throughout the year next year. Just try to find different, days for 10% off or whatever, just a reminder. And so I think just using more of what y'all have, I just feel like we haven't used hardly any of the things.
We're still learning.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
We're learning as we go.
Yes. One thing
Time to schedule another call.
I know, that's why
get on Austin's schedule already.
Talking about it. One thing that I used advance pay for one of my, I did like gel photo shoots with who had to sign up. And so that was the first time that I had used that, and I thought it worked well. I didn't have any from that. So I don't know if we would use
wouldn't
that.
use it.
Yeah, for like the main thing.
We're going to photograph every student regardless, whether they buy or not. We've done that for 28 years.
Yeah,
Right.
The dance school wants those photos for ads.
they do.
And so we're not going to say no. If the kid's dressed, we're taking their photo just like they're going to buy $100 for it.
So
and of course, you have some that don't buy. That always happens. But in the long run, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, it's been interesting for our dance studio owners. We have such a good relationship with, I would say, all of them.
Right.
But for us to switch to this, I mean,
I bet it was a lot for them.
It's been a lot, and they have been really good with having patience with us. And I mean, anytime they have a question, we're asking the bubble, and we get an answer so quickly that we look like we know what we're doing, which is good. But it has been a trial for them. We had one studio that didn't want to switch until I went over. I brought my computer and showed her how it would look and on your end, like the parents' end. And I said that we would have to edit all of them. And she was like, really? Okay, we'll do it.
Oh my gosh.
They would edit. We would give them the raw images and she would edit all of them for the book, for their book.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, it's just now saved them money.
Right.
But it helps us because a lot of our studios also campaign well. Like they market it. They're like, hey, this is picture week. Oh, picture sales are up. Picture here. And so some of them are really good about that. And then some of them aren't. And so for the ones that aren't, we have y'all that are already sending, the third day, the sixth day, whatever it is. And so that helps a lot.
Well, I do feel like, when you first use PhotoDay, it's like, you're just figuring out how to use it. And then you start to integrate more of the features. And then your customers also get more and more used to it. And they like mature, doing that system. But I agree with David. I mean, I think the requiring advance pay is super helpful in a lot of cases, especially when you want to make sure that you're making the money. But, it can be restricting. Like if you don't photograph people who just don't pay that day for whatever reason, you're definitely not getting a sale out of them.
Right.
But if you plan on photographing everybody anyways, doing like an optional early bird incentive or something, that might still be something.
We had talked about that, and we had talked maybe this spring might try it just to see, because don't they can get like a 10% or
you can attach an offer to it.
That would be interesting.
Just have to make sure the parent knows that it's not required.
Yes, like optional if you would like. Yeah, that is a good idea.
All right. Well, let me see what else I got in here. We're going to be at some trade shows. I don't know if any of you guys are going to be at trade shows, but we are going to be at Imaging, at SPAC, and at Sync. So come and find us.
I'm speaking at SPAC. You guys are sponsoring me.
Nice.
Imaging USA is in Nashville this year, which is 100 miles from us.
So we'll be there.
Nice. I will be there too.
I'll be at Imaging also. I'll get to meet you guys there.
Yay!
The only thing with Imaging USA, it's portrait and wedding. It's not really geared toward dance. I've never been to a seminar that catered to dance photographers.
Is there is one of these others more geared towards like volume like that? SPAC. Okay.
Yes.
Where does that take place?
Las Vegas.
Ooh.
So then you get the trip to Vegas as well.
But Dave, at Imaging, I've actually seen speakers speak on dance at Imaging before. So they do try, compared to 20 years ago, they do try to have some volume now. So I haven't really looked at who the speakers are this year at Imaging, but they have had presenters on, on schools, on dance, on sports. So they have included more than they used to. So
last year was in Texas, and they had quite a few volume speakers, and we had like our own volume area and everything.
That gives me lots of hope for maybe this one will be great and we'll learn some things.
There's definitely a few volume speakers. Dance, I got to check in on, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Awesome. Yay.
Well, sweet. I think that is it. Here are the costs of Photo Day for anybody who is watching and has not tried us out yet. We only get paid when you get paid. So that's why we have such great support and we have awesome features that help you be successful. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. This one was so awesome. These are my favorite types of webinars. So just thank you guys again for coming.
This is fun.
Thanks for having us.
See ya.
Alrighty. Bye, guys.
All right. See you later.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.